music. Welcome to Foxboro Rush. Travis Thomas here with George Balekji. By the way, special Tom Brady Patriots Hall of Fame early edition of Foxboro Rush, baby. What a rush. G Beezy, you are in the house. You are not here in studio with me. You are at Foxboro for all the festivities. Was it everything I dreamed of? It looked amazing.
Yeah, I'm actually in the confines of Gillette Stadium right now, so a little peek into the world of covering the Pats. This is the media workroom.
Yeah,
move my head out of the way for those of our fans watching.
It looks it
on YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, so how to find it? It was awesome. So who cares where I'm doing this podcast from? Let's get to the actual main event. I said this on Boston has entered the chat, but I mean it wholeheartedly. This wasn't a Hall of Fame induction ceremony. This was an entire experience. The red carpet they literally rolled out was awesome. And it was a who's who of who came through the Patriots Hall and played with Tom Brady. Sorry, I hit that mic there. There's some flies here. And it starts off, it's funny. You're just waiting, and it's Kevin Faulk comes through. Then Randy Moss, Ben Watson, Robert Kraft appears out of nowhere, literally appears out of nowhere, standing next to these behemoths. Drew Bledsoe, which was interesting to talk to him because every question's about Tom Brady. And in the back of the head, there would be no Tom Brady if Drew Bledsoe's spleen never ruptured.
Right.
But he still, genuinely appreciates Tom Brady, loved him, did speak with love about him, said I was going to drink a ton of double back wine, which is marquee wine. Drew, let's get you on the show, bro. Let's get you on Foxboro Rush.
Let's do the show from his winery. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm in middle of nowhere, Washington. I'll be out there. But when finally everyone gets into the stadium and you walk in, and it is as packed as it can be, 60,000 fans. They cut off some of the seating because it would have been behind the stage. It's quiet. You're waiting for it to get started. And next thing you know, allow me to reintroduce myself. My favorite rapper of all time, Jay-Z, actually in person comes out, performs PSA, which Tom Brady always ran out to.
Right.
But actually live in person, Jay-Z introed him. He came out looking flyer than ever. Of course, just looking 10 out of 10. And you had Jay-Z performing. You had Bill Burr doing stand-up. Mike Tirico emceeing it. Peyton Manning as a surprise guest sitting down with Tom and talking about their rivalry. Bill Belichick coming out and talking about him. And it was nothing but love and appreciation for Tom Brady, which, of course, this area would have for him. But witnessing that, because unfortunately, I've never covered a Tom Brady game in person. I got here in 2021. I've seen him come back as a Buccaneer. I've seen him be honored at halftime. But there's nothing like an entire stadium actually rooting for him.
Right.
And the Patriots knocked it out of the park the way to honor him. All the fans coming back, all the teammates being here, a lot of tears being shed by Tom himself, and even tribute videos. Ray Lewis, Eli Manning, who was booed. Jason Taylor, Ed Reed, Michael Strahan, who was booed. Patrick Mahomes popping on, who was booed, but saying the advice you gave me after beating us in the AFC Championship game really meant a lot. Richard Sherman, Charles Woodson, and with messages like, as long as number 12 is under center, doesn't matter the score, the down and distance, the quarter, the point of the game, you knew they had a chance to come back. It was special to really put it into simplicity, but Brady chants raining down, him getting emotional off the bat. They had a tribute video of his family, and for him, they live in the same childhood home he had in California over 40 years ago.
Wow.
They were sitting down with his family there. You just see the effort, and you have to appreciate everything the Patriots and Robert Kraft did to make this night special, and they did it. And then even Tom, being back here, giving a shout out to people that somehow slugged their way down Route 1 for all those years and driving through the woods, where the hell are you, to cheer him on. And how much it meant for him to have his kids here because they were born in Boston, born on Beacon Street in Back Bay, which he shouted out, and born and raised there. Wow. But to now come full circle and have him here as well, it was just everything about it was so special. And I just give a ton of kudos to Robert Kraft, everyone that put every ounce into this, because it's hard to get it right for the greatest player of all time, and the Patriots got it right. And he became the 35th guy to go into the Patriots Hall of Fame, 8th player to have his number retired. And Robert Kraft, the big surprise too, he said there will be a 12-foot tall statue going up of Tom Brady right in front of the pro shop, right in front of that plaza, which is where the bridge is. If you've ever been to Gillette Stadium, I know you have, Trav.
Yeah.
Just there. Again, doing right to honor his legacy as someone that the Patriots and Boston sports would not be what it is without Tom Brady. They got it right by him.
It's interesting. Some other news and notes here. Brady becomes the 35th member of the Patriots Hall of Fame. Obviously, we understand they are retiring that 12 jersey forever. Let me ask you this, because you mentioned the fans being there and being loud. And I thought about this. Fans sell out Gillette for this. Fans sell out TD Garden for a watch party. Both of these places in this city did not have actual games happening in them, in the facilities, yet Boston fans, true to form, fill out both joints. I mean, what was your favorite moment? I mean, you took us through so much there, but for you covering this, and as you said, I mean, let's get personal here. You didn't get a chance to watch him play here and cover him here as far as a player, but you are at something like this, and you laid out beautifully to us all the things that happened during this. What was your favorite moment, if you had to, or give me like maybe a power ranking or something if you had to give me a couple, but give me sort of your favorite moments where the hair stood up on your arm or the back of your neck.
I would say my favorite moment was when they had the power brokers of that 2007 and 2011 offense. Randy Moss, Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, Wes Welker, not Amendola, up there on the stage. These were the guys, like, I grew up a Patriots fan, and obviously I remember the defenses that were led by the Willie McGinnis and the Ty Laws and the Rodney Harrisons, and even the later ones, Vince Wilfork, who spoke here, Devin McCourty, one of my all-time favorite Patriots. But those early 2000 Patriots were led by defense, and that's how they won, is Tom Brady wasn't a great quarterback yet. But then you remember 2007, and especially for me, a short white guy, watching Wes Welker go out there and just get open with ease and the unreal connection and chemistry they had, hearing him talk. But what struck me was, and it definitely made it special for Brady, because when they would cut to him, his eyes would be tearing up. Randy Moss would go to say a word, a minute-long standing ovation came on. These fans would not let him speak until they gave him his flowers. And you could feel the love they have for him and how badly they want him to wish he got a ring. But, of course, that Super Bowl, the 18-1 Super Bowl happened. Wes Welker goes to speak, same thing happens. Rob Gronkowski goes to speak, same thing happens. Julian Edelman goes to speak, and all he could say after that ovation is, I love you guys. How much this fan base means to these players, how much these players mean to this fan base, and it's all teammates of Tom Brady. To me, that stuck out, especially that moment for Randy Moss. And then nothing beats when finally, when it's all the dust is settled, that red jacket goes on Tom Brady, which he looks phenomenal in because, of course, it's Tom Brady. And then the speech he gave, and he ended it with the strongest thing ever of, I am Tom Brady. I am always a Patriot. I had you wanting to run through a wall. What else would you expect from the GOAT? And it was how they pieced it all together. Like, Tom Brady was sitting on the stage with Mike Tirico leading the way, but they would bring out the defensive room when he first was coming up. Willie McGinnis, Ty Law, Vince Wilfork sharing stories of how competitive he was at practice and how much they made it hell on him and beat on him and challenged him more and more and more and more on the practice field, because they knew on Sundays on the game field that he was going to pull through, because it wasn't going to be tougher than facing them. Then it was the quarterback room, as they tabbed it. Josh McDaniels, Matt Castle, Brian Hoyer, Drew Bledsoe speaking on him, and Tom Brady giving the flowers to his guys. He said this about Drew Bledsoe, of speaking about whenever quarterbacks are drafted and people ask how he's going to do, Tom Brady said, I don't know. Tell me where they're going, tell me who's around them, and tell me who's going to develop them. When I was drafted, I had Drew Bledsoe in that quarterback room, and damn right, I was going to be developed. I got to watch Ty Law practice, a first rounder that played like a Pro Bowler, played like a champion, runner pass game, willing to take on a number one receiver in the league. I had to match that. Talking about Willie McGinnis, one of the greatest players and leaders I've ever been around. Edge, sack, make a play, set the edge, fourth quarter. Willie did it all, and he always pointed that out. So it just shows how much all his teammates meant to him, and he genuinely meant as well. Like, looking at them, I wouldn't be here without you guys, and you guys stood for me. So it's a defensive room, it's a quarterback room, it's a work ethic room coming up. And then also when Peyton Manning sits down, and of course Bill Belichick sharing stories about him. And I love that Bill Belichick, he pointed out, he gets a huge ovation, talks about his pursuit of excellence. But what he pointed out, and got a big ovation, always avoided bad plays, fewest turnovers, fewest negative runs, fewest offensive penalties. And it's Belichick in his own way, and I think it was important for him to get closure as well. That's one of my favorite moments. Yeah. But it just all rolls into one. It flowed great. It was perfect weather. The music was awesome. The presentations, they had fireworks ready to go at every moment and every part. Had Matt Light come out, Dave Coppin, Danny Amendola speak, Matt Slater as well. Just this entire layout. I've never been to a concert at Gillette. I assume it's the same stage where you could get on the field, but that's what they did, and it's insane. You wouldn't think this many people would come to hear a bunch of people talk for 3 hours, but damn it, they did. Damn it, because his Patriots are special. And, of course, damn it, because there's no one better than Tom Brady.
And it's Boston, my friend. As I said, I mean, best fans in America. You know, just hearing you talk about those old teammates getting that kind of reception from the crowd, getting that kind of love from the crowd, and then just Tom reciprocating it to his teammates and to the fans in their own separate ways is just such a Tom Brady move. I mean, on a night that it's all about him, and it should be all about him, a night where we're literally giving him his flowers, a night where the spotlight is the brightest on Tom Brady, he still, George, finds a way to make it communal and to make it about not just me, but we, all of us. You all helped develop me. You all help make today possible with the ceremony. I mean, it's just so Tom Brady, and it just speaks to his character and how he is able to be the GOAT. You know, a lot of these quarterbacks, you and I talk about it on this show and other shows, where sometimes things seem disingenuous. Sometimes guys give you sort of that coach speak, or they give you that company line of what they're supposed to be saying at the podium or in an interview, and it just doesn't even come across as authentic at all. And behind the scenes, then we hear stories come out later that they were selfish or they were about self or this or that. Not with Tom. I mean, it's just so authentic. I have to imagine being there, it landed that way with you in the moment where, man, even when it's supposed to be about Tom, he's still sharing it with all of us.
That's exactly what I thought too, Trav. You hit the nail on the head with that one, is that there's no ego with him. He's a down-to-earth guy. He's down-to-earth as someone of his magnitude can be in his stardom and his looks and everything he does. But that many people don't show up, and I'm not talking about the fans. I'm talking about his teammates.
Right.
And all have glowing reviews, and it's from someone like Drew Bledsoe, who has the most unique experience in the world, and truly a one-of-one relationship with Tom Brady because of everything they went through and Tom Brady's impact on Bledsoe's career, to a guy like Randy Moss or a guy like Deion Branch, who's cool to talk to because won 2 Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl MVP. Obviously, that receiver connection is strong. Then his dad waltzes through, and you hear from his dad, and obviously his dad would be there for him. But no matter how big or small the teammate was, practice squad, fellow All-Pro, if it was Gronk, if it's anyone in the circle, like how much they meant to him and the impact he had on them and how happy they were to be there to celebrate him. Like, people only have good things to say about him. And it's not all he's the greatest, he's a competitor. It's he made me better. He was there for me. He supported me. And it's like, as true as it can be, you know, people say don't meet your heroes. I'd love to meet Tom Brady one day personally because I think he would live up to the expectations. And you just hope they're a good person end of the day, because whatever anyone does in life, as successful as you are, if you're not a good person, then like F you pretty much. That's the way I look at it. Like, just be a decent human. That's a bare minimum we're asking for. Tom Brady is clearly more than that. He is a great human. He's a great teammate. He means so much to this area. It means so much to anyone that's been a Patriot during his tenure here. And that radiated through the message and all throughout the night as well.
No doubt. Hey, we're going to have more on the Tom Brady ceremony, of course, on Boston Has Entered the Chat, on Nesson's YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, wherever you get your podcast. Make sure also you follow us on all your social media accounts for all of our best content. All right, George, look, you were there. You were in the house. You were knocking out. Every time I saw on the feed, you were knocking out interviews left and right so much it made my head spin. I was trying to watch the Celtics game. Then I was watching you doing interviews. I mean, it was overload city. I know we have a ton of sound to get to. Let's get into it. Who'd you talk to? What'd they say? Give it to me.
Let's start with the big dog. Let's start with Robert Kraft, man.
Okay.
It was funny because you get to the red carpet, you know, a wave comes through, you're waiting. Randy Moss and Ben Watson roll through, and in front of me, I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest receiver I have ever watched play, aside from Calvin Johnson. But oh my God, Randy. That magical season in 2007, when I was a young boy in New Jersey, that's all I could think of, and you're talking to him, and then boop, out of nowhere, someone shorter than me, and that's hard to beat, pops up, and it's Robert Kraft. just hear from him. And what you guys are going to see in this too is him grab Randy's hand and pull him close because he wanted Randy to get some camera love and he was going to talk about him. So Robert Kraft, same thing. Someone that's been there for all the players that have come through, making sure it's not about him either. It's about Tom, but also everyone that helped Tom get to that point.
Well, I've never, outside of my family, I never met another individual like Tommy. He's a guy who could go in the huddle, and Randy can attest, he'd make average people better just the way he led. But you see him off the field, and he's got such a heart. Excuse me. Got such a heart, and he's so sensitive to people. He'll cry if the moment calls for it, and he's not afraid to do it. He's a very caring, good human being, and we were lucky to have him, just like we're lucky to have this guy.
I love that, man. I mean, that word leader and leadership just came up so much during this, and it's kind of what we said. It's just authentic to who Tom is, obviously, and I still remember, even though, obviously you nor I were here in the market at the time, but everyone knows the infamous story where Tom Brady, in a moment of, look, he is humble, but in between those lines, he knows he's a bad MF, right? And so the infamous story of, hey, Mr. Kraft drafting me was the best decision this franchise has ever made. I mean, like, he was right, George. He was right.
Of course. Yeah, lived up to it. And, everyone's thinking that, but, I mean, he did that, and he did it sixfold. Really to all the Super Bowls he led them to as well. So he just showed up for them and got it done because he led them to 9, won 6, and the other 3, damn it, they were close. Never blown out in the big game, and he always showed up in the clutch time. And it was cool, too. Again, sticking with the people you don't expect to roll through. You expect the Brady family to be there, but, are you going to talk to them? We spoke with Tom Brady Sr. as well. Here's the sound from him.
It's a wow. It's something that in our wildest imagination, we could never have comprehended something like this happening 20 years ago. And to have it happen now, we're just kind of blown away. We'll get a little teary thinking about it. The fans have been so good. The Crafts have been good to us. The fans have been good to us. The players are spectacular. We've been surrounded with just lovely people, and we feel blessed to be here tonight and being able to celebrate Tommy's success and the team's success with everybody. I think it's exactly what every parent would want for their son. I mean, every parent wants their son to succeed and be happy, and Tommy has succeeded and been happy, and so that makes it makes us feel complete. It's just I always hate to use the word pride because my mother used to say pride comes before the fall, but we're very happy for Tommy and very happy for the whole family. And frankly, the whole Patriot Nation here, because this place has been home to us for a lot of years, and so we're just this is I hate to say it, kind of a finality to the night, and we hate to see it end because it's so glorious for us. I remember the first Super Bowl, and we were incredulous about it, and lo and behold, they won the darn thing, and it's been all uphill since. And frankly, it's as I say, it's a world that we entered through Tommy's back pocket, and we're happy we're here to be able to celebrate with him.
We know he's.
Wow. I mean, listen, as a dad, hearing those comments really spoke to me because I'm just literally, George, hanging on for dear life at my house. Like I'm just trying to get my kids to eat their veggies. And so where I am as a dad right now, I have 2 very young kids, right? To hear those comments of like any parent, we just want them to be happy and successful and fulfilled in life. And to think of either one of my kids reaching some zenith level of success is so far-fetched right now. Not that they're not capable, but I'm just nowhere near that. I can't see the forest through the trees. So hearing that from his dad actually gives me hope as a dad, trying to figure it out that, sometimes you get it right and your kid not only is a great person, which is the ultimate goal, right? But like you said, like just be a good person. Let's start there. That's a foundation. But then they also excel in something to such an incredible rate, George, that they are considered the greatest at whatever it is that they choose. That's got to be an incredible feeling as a parent.
Yeah, it has to be nuts. I can only imagine for Brady Sr. I mean, him in himself, he's a celebrity in this area just because of what his son has accomplished.
Right.
And like you said, too, I mean, I can't imagine what it's like raising a kid. I'm nowhere near close to that in my life. You have two awesome kids who I've met. The anxiety, the stress that comes with that, and you just like every step of the way when you're trying to force them to eat their veggies, you just look at them, and I assume is how it goes. And you're just like, I just want you to be a good person. You know, it comes back to just like make the right choices, be successful in life, let alone be as successful as Tom Brady is. You see that radiating with pride. And his family got very emotional. There was a great sit-down interview they did with his mom, his dad, two of his sisters in his childhood home back in California. And again, it just made Tom Brady a human. It made you connect with them on another level.
Yeah.
And you see it ring through with like interviews like that from Tom Brady Sr. And then it was cool because it goes from Kraft and Sr. to that's when really his former teammates started pouring through. And the same thing, all of them so happy to be there, so happy to talk to the media, talk about Tom Brady. And one of those guys was Julian Edelman, who, you know, the flying squirrel, baby, one of the best slot receivers to ever play the game. And this is what he had to say about Tom.
This is very special. I mean, to have so many legendary Patriots in here to celebrate Tom. We all haven't been in the same building for such a long time. And even, you know, the guys you didn't play with that you heard about, to have everyone here, it's going to be amazing, especially to celebrate Tom and his unbelievable career. And he's given so much to everyone, not just with his production and everything, but his love and his generosity, his time. He's been awesome.
You gonna be nicer to him tonight?
No. No. I'm still the little annoying brother.
You had a lot of fun with him, right?
No, I mean, the most fun, some of the best memories of my life have been with him, and you know, we did some very special things. Not just us, but the whole team and everyone. But he was the flag carrier. So you know, it's going to be awesome to get to talk old war stories with a bunch of the guys here tonight, and it'll be fun.
You know, George, I want to be respectful to Julian Edelman because he's one of my favorite players ever in football. But, you know, I mean, just the fact that this guy comes to the Patriots and is developed as a player and also develops with Tom in terms of chemistry and then has the career that he has really speaks to the organization, Bill Belichick, and the Tom Brady. I mean, like if Julian Edelman is on the Panthers, he doesn't have the same career, obviously, as even in the league. And I don't mean that as like disrespectful, but it's just
No, but you're right.
It's just incredible to me. Like that really puts that spotlight on Tom Brady's intensity, work ethic. And then the organization developing these guys, including Tom, too. They deserve some credit for taking the flyer on Tom late in that draft and then also developing him the way they did.
Yeah, and that's what winning does, too. You know, you get into a winning franchise, and, you know, they're going to move you from Kent State quarterback, 7th-round pick to receiver. You go, all right, bet, whatever you want me to do.
Right.
And even though you don't play much your first few years, when the quarterback calls you to come out to Montana or wherever his house is and train with him in the offseason, you go, all right, bet, I'll meet you out there, and continue to push and push and push because you know there's a light at the end of the tunnel because you see it as a successful franchise and a successful organization that wins. And you literally have it in front of you because it's not some rabbit that they're chasing. It's not that it's a former quarterback. It's on his back nine, but everything's still there. No, it's Tom Brady in his prime, proven winner, proven competitor, face of the NFL. And you look at him and go, I will match and I will do and I will say whatever you need me to do. Jump, just how high?
That's
Walk
right.
through fire, sounds good. I'm not even going to think twice. Jump off a bridge, cool. I don't care if there's water below. But that's what he puts into his teammates, and that's what he does for them. And yeah, definitely Julian Edelman isn't Julian Edelman without Tom Brady, and he'll tell you that. And then what's great is that if you ask Tom Brady that, he'll go, I'm not Tom Brady without Julian Edelman. And that could sound so, you know, hyperbolic and like, yeah, sure, you're just saying that, but he genuinely means it because every teammate he's had has had an imprint on him.
Listen, brother, as your Julian Edelman to
Stop.
you're my Tom Brady,
No.
I completely understand what you just said. Like I completely get it. Now, in full disclosure, and we'll share memories and reflect back on our own like personal Tom Brady moments. But I gotta tell you right now, I was the biggest, or I should say outside of New England, the biggest Drew Bledsoe fan on planet Earth, going back to college. Like, I'm a huge Drew Bledsoe guy to this day. I don't know. I like this game.
No.
What do you mean?
There's a why. There's
what do
a
you
why.
mean? Well, yeah, now, but I'm saying, like, even growing up, like as a kid, like I loved Drew Bledsoe's game. Thought he was a rock star. Thought he was a stud. In a lot of ways, he was Brady before Brady. He had the looks.
Yeah,
he was fantastic, right? I know you had a chance to talk to him as well. Now, of course, I'm a fan because I'm a wino. So he couldn't get more perfect to me, George. Like, I loved him as a player. I was a fan. I love the way he handled all the drama. Look, this could have been drama. Like him and Brady could hate each other. You could do no, but I'm saying it could have went more left. You could have did a 30 for 30 if they had really beefed the way they could have, and it never led to that. It never got as ugly as some sort of rap beef or something. Like both of them, because they're both so classy, figured it out, worked it out. Drew Bledsoe went on to have a fantastic career post Tom Brady taking over, right? But I know you talked to him. But now, of course, I'm a wino. So now Drew Bledsoe, I'm an even bigger fan. It elevated him, George, because he's in the wine game. I know you caught up with him too.
Yeah, let's check it out. Play the Drew Bledsoe sound.
Well, it's really obviously great to be here to honor Tom, but it's also like a reunion, man. Get to see some guys I haven't seen in a long time, and all here to honor our buddy. So it's really fun.
I know it's not too long ago you were at the roast in his honor, but what makes tonight different? What makes tonight special for all of you guys?
Well, tonight we're going to be nice to him. We're not going to crush him tonight, for the most part. There might be a few jokes, but tonight we got to be nice to him.
As someone that has the red jacket, what makes that special? What makes it a moment that you remember that Tom will experience tonight?
Yeah, it's the thing that makes it the most special is that it's voted on by the fans, and so this place is special to all of us that had the privilege of playing here, and when the fans give you that honor, that's a really special thing.
What does it mean when you reflect on your career? What was it like to be by Tom, play with him, and also learn from him?
Well, he was just a young kid, man. So he was just young and eager, and obviously competing at everything. But he was just a puppy when we were together, but I knew he had something special then. But I thought that meant he would hang around the league as a backup for 12 years. I didn't know he would rise to the level that he rose to.
I mean, George, the shades, the jokes. He's so smooth. The wine. This guy's amazing, George. I love Bledsoe.
Those shades are probably 17 years old. You're such a dad, bro. You're such a dad. I kid you not, I'm looking at his shades. I go, he just found those in the bottom of his 2014 Tahoe, and he's like, all right, cool. I'll just wear these when I go out to New England. The shade.
2014 Tahoe with all the miles on it, but it still runs good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not hating at all, bro. I was a proud owner of a 2010 Corolla until I accidentally sent it out to the greener pastures of infinity. But to get back to Drew Bledsoe, what was great about him too is he rolls up. We wanted to talk to him. We were next to Steve Burton at WBZ, who was another institution in its own of Boston sports.
Yeah.
He grabbed Drew. He's like, "Hey, can I interview you? Coming back live?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a commercial break." And I just look at him. I go, "While you wait for that, you down to talk to us?" He was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And then hung her out, waited for that too. So, guy takes his time, but like I said, it's unique asking him questions about Tom Brady because of how their paths and their legacies are intertwined. But that's someone that's at peace. He's had success. He's led the Patriots to Super Bowls, but obviously they came up short. Went on to other teams and played well for them, and obviously has his own success now with double back wine. But that's a guy that's lived, a long life and was a great NFL player. And it's cool to see him back. And like I said, him and Brady are always intertwined. But when they sat up there for the QB room discussion, I mean, he had nothing but love for Brady, and Brady had nothing but love for him back as well. Big dude, really big, and not in a bad way. Like big guy, tall, broad shoulders, massive hands. You're like, he is huge. Could not imagine tackling him. Big Ben size, I would assume. Him and Ben Roethlisberger must be same stature. Big guy.
Yeah, he was a prototypical quarterback, brother. Like he looked like the guy that was made in a lab. All right, I'm like a kid in a candy store with this stuff. Who else you got for me? Bring it on, baby.
While we play this sound, while we'll be looking up Drew Bledsoe and Big Ben's height, Kevin Faulk, who is one of Tom Brady's favorite teammates of all time. Check it out.
Well, I think we all knew after probably year 5 that he was going into the Patriots. It was just a matter of when. That was it. And like Mr. Kraft said, we might as well speed the process up and get it going, get it done.
Tom didn't shy away from saying you were one of his favorite teammates he's ever played with. What does the honor mean for you to get that from the GOAT?
Oh, it means everything. That's why so many guys are here right now. It's because how he made everybody feel on the field and off the field.
You know, covering the NFL for as long as I have, and Tom Brady being Tom Brady, I would always ask former players, hey, man, like, you never played for the Patriots. When you watch Tom Brady, does it make you wish that you did? And they said, hell yeah, I'd have rings. My career would have been longer. I would have had this. I mean, no disrespect to Kevin Faulk, but, like, I know him because of those Patriot dynasty teams, and he was a big part of it. But I think that speaks to Tom, like, hey, these are the routes. I have trust in you. If you get open, I'm coming to you. And Kevin Faulk rose to those moments, George. You got to give him credit.
You need the chains moved on third down, throw him the ball. You can run the ball with him. That's a guy that's as reliable as you can be. And like you said, trust is a key word. Yep. Gronk shared a great story himself as well, speaking about how when he earned his trust, it was a game in Chicago. Tom went to Rob. They called the play, and he goes, get the F open. Gronk ran 15 yards downfield, put his shoulder into Urlacher, took one step, turned around. Ball was there perfectly as it's been in practice because he never missed his mark.
Wow.
And that happened, and then the rest followed. You do it once, you pull through for him, he'll come back to you, and that's how it went. So, but you hear that from someone like Kevin Faulk, who has been there in the big moments, been to the mountaintop with the Patriots as well, and again, it's cool to see, him talking about Brady on and off the field and what he meant for him. Now, someone I want to talk about that's very special, near and dear to my heart, and it shows the power that Tom Brady has. John Bon Jovi was there tonight. Didn't perform, but John Bon Jovi was there tonight. Check it out.
He gave us all such great memories. 24 years, the greatest. 6 championship with him and Coach Belichick. I mean, I'm really happy to be here.
You're used to handling fame. Okay? I mean, everywhere you go, everybody knows you. How do you think Brady has handled fame?
I think he's handled it very, very well. You know, I've always said Tommy's, 14, 15 years younger than me, and I look up to him. He's the man.
Well, he looks up to you, too, as well.
Well, not really, but he's a good friend. I'm really proud to be here. Tommy's the greatest of all time. I'm proud to be a Patriots fan. Every touchdown he ever scored in this stadium was my theme song.
Wow, that's cool. Hey, listen, you're right, bro. I mean, Bledsoe, that look, that swag had nothing on your man Bon Jovi. You're right. Respect.
I might start pulling a page out of his book. Like, my hair's thin in here. Like, you see how he's long, so he covers it? Like, I'm not doing that. John Bon Jovi, born where, Travis?
New Jersey, baby.
My man, born down Perth Amboy, New Jersey, pride of Atlantic City, pride of Asbury Park. But it was cool to hear him talk. Oh, and by the way, I did my Googling too. Drew Bledsoe, 6'5", 238 pounds. Ben Roethlisberger, 6'5", 240 pounds. 2 pounds off. That's right. So I imagine Big Ben's big. But Drew Bledsoe, though, better person than Ben Roethlisberger. That's neither here nor there. Screw it. Ben Roethlisberger sucks as a person. We'll drag him through the mud, allegedly. We're getting off the rails here. It's, 1 in the morning post Tom Brady Hall of Fame ceremony. That's what we do. Is what it is.
Hey, it would not be Foxboro Rush without going off the rails, baby. Choo.
To get us back on the rails, let's talk to a prolific wide receiver who had his career resurrected here, and that was Randy Moss.
Before I became a Patriot, Tom already had his legacy set in stone, and as a wide receiver, you sit there and study guys week in and week out. And so me doing my study, and as you heard Mr. Kraft talking about how Tom made the average player so much better. So as I'm studying him as a quarterback, it's like, man, I need some of that. And not that I'm considering myself average. I just knew that I could bring whatever the best out in him, he could bring the best out in me. And so we came here, and it was magic from day one. So, speaking of Mr. Kraft, you heard me just talking earlier about just my time here. And when you have the owner of the Patriots just talking about the family and the family and the family, he made a promise to the fans. He makes a promise to the players. He makes promise to the players and their families. So like I said, man, comes a times where you have to separate the friendship from the business side of it. And, man, as an owner, he's all about family and love, man, and that's what we can appreciate from being players and former players.
George, that one magical season that they had where they were putting up video game numbers, no one ever cares about someone else's fantasy team, but I'm going to tell you about mine anyway. My team was trash. I had Tom Brady and Randy Moss, and I won the championship in that league, and I didn't lose a game. Like, that's how – and my team sucked, bro. Like, it was just those two, them putting up those numbers. My only wish is that I had a time machine or I could teleport or something. If I could take prime young Randy Moss, like Randy Moss drafted by the Patriots, and he's just with Tom Brady for both of their entire careers. That's the only thing I wish, because I didn't get those two long enough.
Yeah, can you imagine that? I mean, he was drafted in 98, so that's like the ascension of the Patriots, and Drew Bledsoe's still there. Even Ben Coates there as well. And then by the time Tom Brady be starting in 2001, I mean, that's 82 catch, 1,200-yard season, like type Randy Moss, right?
Yeah.
Let's not even talk about his wasted years in Oakland. But
right. And
a guy, again, is resurrected here, and the big thing on getting him was 2006 Patriots go out in the playoffs. They have no offensive firepower. And Tom Brady goes into Robert Kraft's office like, you need to get me players. Bill Belichick, same thing. You need to get me guys. Pick up the phone. They call Randy Moss, get him into New England. And the rest is history. 23 touchdowns for Randy Moss that year. Brady breaks a 50 touchdown mark. So, yeah, I can imagine your fantasy team doing well. But their connection, too, of just no one got off Revis Island, who was the most lethal cornerback I've ever watched play in my lifetime. Randy Moss got off Revis Island.
Yes.
No problem at all. Like, swam away. Didn't need a life raft. Didn't need a boat. Nothing. But, like, that's how sick that connection was.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's cool to have him and Robert Kraft right next to each other, because even Robert Kraft sharing stories of when his late wife, Myra Kraft, passed away. Randy Moss was there for him. Tom Brady was there for him. And it's a connection. It goes beyond football, even as elite as these guys were playing at the level that they were.
You know, I want to talk about your growth as a person. I got to tell you, since the roast and since this Hall of Fame ceremony, I feel like you're coming around on Rob Gronkowski. You know, just a few months ago, before all this, you were making fun of the guy and impersonating him like he talks like a caveman. Oh, Gronk, football, oh, touchdown, spike. You were doing all kinds of nonsense. And then the roast, you had to admit, you said, you know what? He was really funny. I thought Gronk was one of the highlights of the roast for you. And then I know you caught up with him and got some sound from Gronk, and I can already see it in your face that you appreciated what Gronk had to say about Tom. I think you're coming around on Gronk, brother.
I've always been on Gronk. I think his existence in the world is one of the most beautiful things any person can have. You're a frat boy your whole career. You act like an idiot, and you're retired, and you make money off being a frat boy and an idiot. And credit to him. He knows it. He's in on the joke. But, yeah, I would say talking to him, he rolled through the red carpet today. I was like, oh, man, like you're sharper than I thought.
See?
Like, you're a great interview. Like, you got it, Gronk. You got it. Good dude. I did the quick shot. Rob, you got a minute? He's like, all right, we can do it here. Like, one interview. I was like, hell yeah, I was in the perfect spot. So here's a quick snippet from talking to Gronk.
We got so many ex-players that I play with here. That just shows the greatness that Tom Brady brings to the table, that he's the only guy that can basically bring every single team back from 2000 to 2018 to the year he finished, and bring everyone back and just have a good time and all get back together, tell stories. Tom Brady's the only guy that can do that. Oh, man. Passionate. Yes, he's passionate about everything that he does, on the field, off the field, and that's what makes him so great.
As a teammate and a person, how did he make you better?
Tom made me better from day one all the way to the last snap that I played with him. Just the way that he carried himself in the meetings, carried himself in the locker room, and carried himself out on the field. It rubbed off onto me, and it made me a better professional as well.
I love it. I love Gronk.
Maybe I should be a better person. Like, I got to stop making fun of him on this podcast, because, like, I'm asking him questions genuinely want to know.
Right.
And, like, I was just making fun of him, you know? But, like, here's the thing. Like, you know, as much as I make fun of him, he can say, like, one sentence to me, and I'll be like, touche, bro, you win. I'm rich, you're you. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, Rob. Great point there, brother.
I tell you what, GB, I have an idea. I'm your boy. We keep it real with each other. That's what real friends do. So when you start hating and you start tripping on Gronk or anyone, I'll just look at you and I'll say, George, WWTD. What would Tom do? And then George, you'll open up your heart, man, and you'll be like, you know what? Trav's right. WWTD. What would Tom do? And boom, you're right back. You're grounded. The humility's back. You're like, let me be a great teammate. That's what I'll do, George. WWTD. What would Tom do?
When I set out on this journey of life and to be in the sports broadcasting industry, I never thought at some point in my life I would be in the confines of Gillette Stadium in a media workroom at 12:57 in the morning. And you know what? Having a coming to Jesus moment between myself, a MacBook camera, and Travis Thomas on the other side, and Rob Gronkowski in my ear as well. But you know what, Trav? You're right.
Yeah.
What would Tom do? And you know what Tom would do?
What?
I think the type of teammate he is and the person and the friend, I think he would bust Rob Gronkowski's balls as well. So I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, fair
There you
enough.
go.
That's well
I
said,
ain't changing.
my friend.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving. May the show say amen to that. All right, let's end it here. Let's just rattle off some memories. So I think we have a unique perspective because we weren't here. And obviously, we've covered Tom Brady's career. I watched him really make an entire city respect him. I was covering the Ravens for a lot of that rivalry, brother. I mean, they came here and whooped up on the Patriots. Patriots beat them, and they're building. I mean, it was absolute just war between those two franchises forever. And I went from hearing fans hate the Patriots, hate Tom Brady, visceral, to eventually, before I left that city and moved on to D.C., but still obviously around Ravens fans, they had to respect him. It went from, hey, yeah, we still don't like the guy, but boy, you have got to respect Tom Brady. I thought that was very telling. I also remember being wasted at a Super Bowl party for that first Super Bowl and just talking the most trash ever about how the greatest show on turf was going to smash the Patriots and wrong. And I just remember the end of that Super Bowl party that I was at being a drunken mess and just still in disbelief that happened. Same thing happened to me with the Falcons comeback Super Bowl. I bet on the Falcons like a moron before that game. And I was literally counting the money that I did not win at halftime. Again, it always goes back to boozing, George. I vaguely remember Lady Gaga jumping down from the roof for the halftime show and thinking I had the bet won, and then Tom comes back in the second half and sobers me up. It's too many memories to remember, but I feel fortunate to be here now and to bask in the afterglow that was the Patriots dynasty and Tom Brady.
I think my favorite moment, there's obviously 28-3 against the Falcons, but his comeback in 2014 against the Seahawks as well. I mean, the guy was dialed in.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget when Malcolm Butler had the interception to seal the Super Bowl win. I was in college at the time, jumped into my fellow Patriots friends' arms. We're all jumping up, so happy, so excited. And my friend Dennis, who's an Eagles fan, I'll never forget this. He's off to the side, and he looks, and he goes, I will never have that feeling in my life. And he did, and he got it with Nick Foles against Tom Brady. But the amount of joy, outside of my direct family, my mom, my dad, my two wonderful older sisters, and my girlfriend, no single human being is more responsible for happiness in my life than Tom Brady.
Wow.
It's 6 Super Bowls. It's 2009 against the Tennessee Titans. It's comebacks in the AFC Championship games. It's ripping my heart out of my chest, even the losses against the Giants. But as someone that makes you love sport, that's Tom Brady for me.
Wow, that's well said, brother. For all of our best content of the day, make sure you follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You know what? We here at Foxboro Rush, Travis Thomas, George Balekji, and the crew, I can speak for us all as we all collectively say thank you to Tom Brady, the GOAT, for all the memories that you have bestowed upon thee.
There would be no Foxboro Rush without him, man. There would be no
That's a
City of
fact.
Boston Sports City. I also appreciate everyone for watching, for sticking up with my tired eyes. Trav, I'm calling you on the drive home. That's it for Foxboro Rush. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Peace.